Hey there, Club Quarry golfers. I just want to take this time to walk you through a shot that you might find yourself encountering more and more as we get into the summer months out here. And that is, as the Bermuda rough around the green is starting to grow a little bit thicker and a little bit taller, there becomes a need for a shot such as this. We're on 13 green here, where we've got the ball sitting down in the rough a little, and we have to get this ball up in the air to have a chance to stop it next to the hole, right? So your regular chipping motion is probably not going to be very effective here, because by having the face more square and not using the bounce or having the face a little bit more open, this ball is going to be coming in too hot. And we already know it's not going to spin because the grass on this particular lie is going to get caught between the grooves on the club face and your golf ball, and that's going to decrease all the friction. So you're not going to have a lot of check or bite on your shot either. So that leaves us pretty much one option, and that is kind of the top shelf option of hitting this ball higher and softer, because we're not going to have a lot of check. At least we can't, none that we can count on here. So we're going to need to be able to stop this ball by the angle that it's descending or landing into the grain, as opposed to bringing it in lower with some check or with some spin. So some very simple adjustments. This is not a shot to freak out on, but if you know what you're doing going into it, how you can use your sand wedge or your lob wedge to your benefit, everything gets much easier. So the first thing you want to do with this is choose your highest lofted wedge in your bag. Now I know some of you are afraid of that already, but there's a reason why this is going to be helpful for you. You want the bounce, which is this back edge of the wedge. You want that bounce with a slightly open face. That's how we engage the bounce. So if you were thinking of maybe like a square club face down here at your setup, I'd say I'd want you to take that and rotate that about clockwise, maybe 5 or 10 degrees open at the setup, and then take your grip. All right, I see a lot of golfers out there doing the take your normal grip and then open the face thing, and then it just still keeps coming down closed without enough bounce or loft. So face is open a little, 5 or 10 degrees, then we take our grip. And then the way we're gonna feel how our wrists and how our arms work in this particular shot is very different than a full swing golf shot, okay? This is gonna be more like a bunker shot or more like a higher lofted pitch shot. And that is that your wrists and your forearms here are gonna be doing two things, okay? We all know that they're gonna be hinging a little up and down, kind of bobbing the club head up and down a little like this as they go back. But I also want you to feel as if the shaft here, as if the shaft is twisting slightly clockwise as you're doing that, okay? And what we're doing when we're making that motion with our forearms and with our wrists is that we're keeping the bounce on the club as that face rotates open. Instead of if it starts to hood itself or go back a little straighter or more square like it would in a regular golf swing, like maybe an iron or a driver swing, that can present some problems because now we lose all of our bounce and now we're decreasing the loft on the shot a little bit, okay? So again, the checklist would be open the club face first, then take your grip, and then practice those two motions and what you're putting together here, which would be how your wrist should hinge this club up and down, how that club head should be bobbing up and down like this is the sensation, okay? But it's never gonna look like that, because as we're doing that, of course, we're having that sensation that the shaft is spinning a little, or turning a little. And that's what starts to get the bounce engaged a little bit more and get a little bit more loft on the face as we're doing this. And a good key that you can look at when you're hitting this shot, we're gonna have a little bit of a divot here, of course, but you're gonna hear a very specific thump or sound if that bounce is getting engaged through the ground. You'll hear a thump through impact. You won't feel like this is just like your club head kind of tearing grass and dirt out of the ground, okay? So it's gonna feel a little bit more thumpy, almost like you hit like a really nice bunker shot. And so I'm gonna try to illustrate a couple of these here just to give you an idea. The idea here when you're doing this, again, one part is the wrist hinge, and it's okay to feel this as you're practicing it. One part is the wrist hinge, the second part is how the forearm should rotate a little bit, and when you put those two motions together, that's what's giving you your backswing, okay? And then we'll just lob it over the bunker how we would even if it was off the short grass. So you can play this shot from fairway cut lies, of course, but out of the rough, and of course, obviously out of a bunker, also good places that you could utilize these techniques of having the face more open and then learning not only the wrist hinge part, but also a little bit of like the supination or pronation of the forearms. Okay, so here we're gonna give it a run here. We got the ball is gonna be just a little forward in our stance, here. Hands and weight are gonna be set a little forward. And the idea here when we're practicing this is hinging the wrists as we let the forearms rotate a little bit. And then you let the body turning towards the target kind of add the power through the ball, right? Because we're gonna have much more loft on that face than what we're used to with your normal sand wedge or lob wedge or whatever you're pitching with, all right? I hope that helps out here, get out of the little bit thicker Bermuda rough. Again, it's kind of nice because if it's a little thicker around the bunkers, it oftentimes keeps your ball from running into the bunker, right? So at least you can look at it that way. Let me know if this helps you out, or if you have any questions, you can reach me at the email on the website. Hope you'll have a great summer of golf. We'll see you out here.